Welcome to the Arizona State Retirement System File Upload Contribution Reporting Training. Please take note of any questions that you may have with these procedures. During the Employer Basics presentation, we will allow for time to address any of these questions that you have. During this training, we will be reviewing file upload contribution reporting, the basics of a service purchase agreement for reporting purposes, and the alternative contribution rate reporting. When you first log into the ASRS portal, the first screen you will see is your profile screen. Please ensure that you have access to Maintain CSR, Maintain Payment, Maintain File Data, Maintain ACR File Upload, and PDA and Term Pay Specialist for service purchase. Once you have all these roles, you are ready to start reporting contributions to the Arizona State Retirement System. On the left side navigational panel, you'll go to Contribution Reporting and select Pay Period Summary. This screen will show you the previously submitted pay periods for the fiscal year. To add a new pay period, simply add the pay period end date and select Add PPE. Once you have selected Add PPE, you'll now see on the pay period information table that the new pay period has been entered. If this date is not correct, please delete. Note, this is the only time you can delete the pay period information on the summary table. Once you have saved, you can no longer remove. If you have confirmed that your date is correct, you can now begin by selecting under the operations available in the right-hand side, Create CSR, Make Payment, and Upload Detailed Data. This will begin your process of reporting contributions to the Arizona State Retirement System. The first screen that will come up is the ASRS Contribution Summary Report. This is where you'll be adding your retirement contributions and your LTD contributions and any service purchase contributions for the pay period. When you're adding the pay period information, please make sure your gross salary for LTD and retirement are matching, and also that your employee and employer contributions match and are at the correct percent rate for the fiscal year. This screen also allows you to enter late charges in the retirement contribution section. So if you have any previously unpaid late charges, you can enter it now. Once you've added the service purchase deductions, you'll want to make sure you enter any comments or anything that you need to tell your contribution accounting team about this pay period. Examples would be PPE date change, adjustment info, any credits that you're applying, or if this was a special pay such as performance-based pay. Once you've added all the three boxes of information, your retirement, your LTD, and your service purchase, you'll want to go to Save and recalculate your CSR. Once you've selected the Save and recalculate your CSR, the page will refresh and you'll now see that you have subtotals in each section of the CSR. Please check each section to ensure that the entries are accurate and reflect the same amounts on your contribution summary for your pay period from your payroll system. Once you've checked each section of the CSR, you'll want to make sure that your totals match the total on your check that you are expected to send to ASRS. Once you have verified everything, you are now ready to go ahead and hit the Submit CSR button. Once you have submitted, you'll be navigated to the ACH Payments section. Please enter the requested deposit date, which must be at least 1 day in the future after today's date. This amount should also match the grand total on the CSR information in the top box. If you have entered today's date as the deposit date and submit, you'll receive an error. Please go back and correct that error prior to submitting. Once you've entered everything, you'll be now taken to the Authorized ACH Payment page. Please make sure that you reviewed one more time and that your grand total and your ACH amount match what you are expected to pay for that pay period. Once you've reviewed that, go ahead and select the Authorize Payment button at the bottom. Once you've authorized payment, the next screen you'll be taken to is a summary of your payment. This will give you the option to upload your data. Please select that button to begin uploading the files needed to report to ASRS. Now you're on the file reporting upload screen. Please choose the file by using the radio button Choose File and selecting the contribution file to upload. Please mark the content box as contribution or contribution and service purchase if it's a combined file. You'll do this for each file that you're submitting to ASRS. If you have a contribution file and a separate service purchase file, you'll go to Choose File, select the contribution file, and go ahead and upload that file. You'll do that again for the service purchase file by selecting Service Purchase, choose File, and upload that file. If you have any adjustments, the template is found at the bottom of this screen. Please download the template, enter your adjustments, save it, and upload by choosing File. The content would be adjustment. You will need to enter a comment if you selected an adjustment file and upload that file. Please note you do not need to report LTD or ACR files in this section. Once you have uploaded a file, you'll notice at the bottom, Loaded Files, you'll note the file name, the content, whether it is contribution, service purchase, or adjustment. The status will be recorded as received, and the upload date will be today's date. And if you've entered any comments, it'll record those comments here as well. Please ensure that all files have been uploaded that are required for that pay period. Once you've uploaded all of your files, you'll be navigated back to the pay period summary information screen. Please note you'll see today's PPE date that you entered. The CSR status should now be in the submitted. ACH status will be recorded as in process until ASRS has received the deposit from the bank. Your detailed data status should reflect as received. If you have any over or short reported in this pay period due to your payment amount and the CSR amount not matching, you'll see that recorded in the over short. Now you are all done submitting the contribution reportings to the ASRS. Service purchase payroll deductions, authorizations, or PDA agreement for shorts are another important role in reporting contributions to the Arizona State Retirement System. ASRS members may be eligible to purchase ASRS service credit for time worked for other public employers or to reinstate previously forfeited ASRS service credit. There are multiple payment options for members who are purchasing service credit in the ASRS. One of these payment options is an irrevocable PDA through their ASRS employer. When a member elects to use a PDA, the employer users with the PDA and term pay specialist role at their employer will receive a secure message notifying the employer to begin implementing a PDA. The notification will include the deduction amount, the total number of deductions, and when to start deducting and remitting the payments. There will not be a separate notification to alert the employer that the PDA has been fully paid. PDA payments are reported with regular contributions and are noted on the contribution summary report in the service purchase section. The member is responsible to check their paycheck to ensure deductions have begun. The IRS does not allow makeup of payments. If a PDA payment did not begin on time, the term of the PDA must stay the same length and have a later start and end date. At the time of signing a PDA, the member may elect to use pre-tax termination pay towards the balance of their PDA at termination. Like the PDA itself, this addendum to use termination pay is an irrevocable election. A member may also make an irrevocable election to use termination pay toward the service purchase of credit within a narrow window several months before retirement. This would be a separate pay from a PDA. An employer administrator must sign the PDA and term pay specialist role from the maintained employer users page. Users with this role will receive a secure message when an employee has elected to use a PDA. Please make sure to implement the PDA according to the document the ASRS sends to you as the employer. Report each deduction along with each regular payroll and contributions submission only. If you are paying the balance of contract, such as when the employee is under a 9 or 10-month contract, please make sure to make the same number of PDA payments on the balance of contract as the number of regular pay periods represented by this balance of contract payment. Review Chapter 7 of the Employer Manual for more information about the employer's responsibilities involved in the member service purchase programs. Legislation passed in 2011 under Senate Bill 1609, authorizing the ASRS to implement an alternative contribution rate, ACR for short, to employers who hire ASRS retirees to return back to work. The rate will be charged and remitted to the ASRS by the employer. The purpose of this legislation is to mitigate the potential actuarial impact that retired members who return to work may have on the trust fund. We bring up ACR for the purpose of showing you how to report it and any corrections if needed. You can find detailed information on our alternative contribution reporting webpage, and we'll post this link in the chat box during our basics information session. Both web-based and file upload contribution reporting have the same process for ACR reporting to the Arizona State Retirement System. To begin this process, you will select the Start ACR under the contribution reporting in your left-hand side navigational panel. On this page, you'll go ahead and add in the pay period end date and select Next. The next screen that will come up is the file upload screen. Simply choose your file from the dialog box that you have saved for the ACR report for this pay period. Please remember the uploaded file must be in a .csv file extension for the file to upload correctly. Once you have chosen the file, you'll now see that the file name that you've chosen will appear next to the Choose File button. Once you verify that you have the correct file selected, please go ahead and click on the Next button. If you have any errors in your file, the screen will display what rows have an error on them. Note that row 1 is counted as a header line. Line 2 is the first line of data on your file. In order to upload the file, all errors need to be corrected and the file will need to be re-uploaded at this time. Simply by selecting Choose File and hitting the Next button, and the new file that has been corrected will now appear on your screen. Once you've corrected the errors and uploaded a good file, the details will appear on your screen. You'll select Next. This will take you to the payment screen. Same as contribution reporting payments. After payment has been submitted, you will have completed the ACR process. Please note, ACRs cannot be completed without a good file and an associated payment. Late charges are automatically created and cannot be edited or reversed once payment has been submitted. If you have any questions, please reach out to your CA team prior to submitting your ACR and payment. This concludes the file upload employer basics portions. Thank you.